987654321.
To celebrate 2 years of Bitch Sesh being on the air, this happened.
So, Erika
Jayne.
Erika Jayne Girardi.
You guys are way too serious.
We're journalists. Erika, we're journalists.
Yes.
Okay.
Think of me as Christiane Amanpour.
Oh, Christiane Amanpour. I
Yes.
love her. I love Amanpour.
Think of me, Katie Couric, after she was quirky.
Okay, Katie.
Thank you.
Erika, you have so many talents and you've brought so much to this franchise. And my first question is thank you.
Yeah.
Because it's not a question.
More of an answer. It's a statement.
It's more of an answer.
It's more of a statement.
We wanted to pay tribute to you. You have a song called How Many Fucks Do I Give?
Yes.
And
We love this song. It is in my brain all the time. We have choreographed a dance to it, which we won't show it to.
Oh, no, you're going to send me the video. Now you've openmed up.
We've tried to do some moves, and I hope that we haven't ruined sex for everybody.
We're both failed musical theater as aspiring actresses. So here's the thing. We have taken this song and stripped it down a bit in the way that sometimes all great songs need to be, kind of taken down a notch. And we've made it into a bit of a power ballad. And I would just like to just sing, and you can take or leave this.
We're offering it up to you.
Maybe for
Please
next
give
time you go
me.
to Greece.
I have a feeling something really good's about to happen. I really do. I can.
worry, I'll just be
You
doing
two are
30 seconds.
underplaying this thing really good. Okay, go.
Okay.
Dum dee dum dee dum day, dum dee dum dee dum day, dum dee dum dee dum day, 0, 0, 0 done. How many fucks do I give? How many fucks do I give? How many fucks do I give? 0, 0, 0 done. Now that's just, a little taste.
I am calling Justin Tranter, who wrote this fucking song. My mouth is wide open. Can I tell you something? That is the best thing that has happened to me all week. Fuck yes. I have my smile. I wish everyone could see how fucking big my smile is. That is the best I have ever. Thank you.
Just a little tribute.
I love it.
We love the song so much. We wanted to show you what else was in the song.
Well, thanks. I love the interpretation. That's brill.
Thank you.
Erika, we're also joined by your co-author.
Yes, co-author.
Brian Moylan.
I hate it when people try to say ghostwriter. I'm like,
mean-
bitch, I put your name on the fucking thing.
I know.
Your face is on the TV
This
show.
isn't some Carol Radziwill shit.
Well, I think that if we, I've been saying ghostwriter just because people know what that means more than co-author. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about? I have a 12th grade education and I know the difference. What are you talking about? Everybody knows you helped me write the fucking book.
You have a 12th grade education, but you are way smarter than most people.
Well,
Thank
and
you.
I also think that you are willing to give tribute where it is due. I think a lot of
Unlike other people.
Well, I mean, you are a fool if you are not an author and you think you're going to write a book for the first time and put it out.
Preach.
I mean, so you have to have someone help you. And Brian was the perfect choice because not only was he a fan of the show, I felt like he understood me and where I was coming from and what I was really doing. And so I was more than happy to have him as a co-author. I think it's almost like the foundation to a really well-built house because I don't write books. And let this be a note to anyone who thinks that they're going to write a book, bitch, get a co-author.
Well,
You're going to need one.
It was still way more work than I think either of us thought it was going to be.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of
and
work.
a lot of detail.
Yes.
And then the things that we took in that we had to do some adjustments and it was not always easy.
No. But we got it done. And
We got
you're
it
the
done.
only housewife I would have done this for.
Thank you.
Because the rest of them are crazy.
Well, I'm not crazy.
No, you're not.
No, I'm
And-
not crazy.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not crazy.
That's why we even approached Brian about talking to you because we tiptoed and you're the one that we were like, we think she's a human.
possibly human.
Accidental run-in with Tamara Barney, and I was shook. to my
Really?
core.
Okay.
Shaking like a rattle. So
Okay.
I'm glad to be here on the couch with you and your amazing.
And with your warmth.
Oh,
Can I
thanks.
say?
Yes.
Your warmth.
Now, guys, the book is about to come out. And I just want to say, Erika, you're in such esteemed company as an author. And we just want you to know what you guys are up against, the other books in this canon.
Okay.
Because there's
Oh,
such.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. We're ready.
Just
There's some gorgeous
quotes.
words, and I don't want to intimidate. I really,
Please.
I'm not
Okay,
here.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm sitting down.
Here's a little quote. Hot may be a buzzword, but it's also how I describe the best there is and the best you can be. I've used the word smoking hot for everything from a coveted couture gown to a chicken wing red sauce. Kelly Kaloran Ben Simone, I can make you hot.
Oh, okay.
Thank
okay.
you.
I like
Is that
chick-
from her memoir or from one of her novels?
Memoir.
Memoir.
Okay.
I like chicken wings.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I like wings.
There's
Now
something
here's
for everyone.
another novel, just some prose if
Right.
you want to hear
Prose.
them. Yes. The seal and the ring is the most important step to giving great oral sex.
Oh, yes, Miss Renovation.
Yes.
You don't have to. I witnessed that first fucking hand in Japan. I was like, huh?
You
But you know
really
what?
went along with it.
Because it's great. Here's the thing about Lisa is that, and I really like Lisa. She doesn't take, she's a fucking, she gets it.
She does.
She gets it on a whole nother level. She doesn't, stress over. She's fine. She's great. I love Lisa. She's been so supportive.
Wow. I love her too. She's
yeah,
very
she's
just
so fun.
You would love her if you met her.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a cool person.
I believe the same people that published our book published Renovation.
100%. Because when she asked me who we were working with, I told her, she's like, oh, they did mine.
Yeah.
I think we even have kind of like the same editor.
Yeah.
I actually learned
We
from
have
that
no
book.
blowjob
Yeah.
tips though. Sorry.
can I
No,
tell you?
we left those out. She's cornered the market on the BJ.
she really did. It's a technique I have brought home.
Girl, you were sleeping on the seal in the ring. Now, come on.
Oh, there's
Brian
a
and I are like
seal
old
ring.
school.
Oh, exactly.
You guys
You're
knew
never
these-
too old to learn.
Yes.
I like to say.
I
And
know.
lastly, there's a little book called The Ramona Coaster. And these are beautiful words. And, we can pause for tears.
Okay.
I became known for loving Pinot Grigio on the show. On the show, at parties or events, you'll hear me ask, where's my Pinot Grigio? Do you have my Pinot Grigio? Where's my Pinot Grigio? Eventually, wherever I went, people knew Pinot Grigio was for Ramona.
Oh, well.
And-
preceded by the Pinot Grigio.
Yes, and then she branched out and made a Pinot.
Did she make a Pinot?
Yes, she did.
She did.
She
Oh,
sure
I
did.
accidentally served it at Thanksgiving.
What
And
was
you know
the
what?
accident?
We lapped it up.
I just
I
had
served it
gotten
at
it for the
Thanksgiving.
show.
It did not go over well.
No.
Is it a new
No.
product?
No, it's an
No.
older product.
What about the Vanderpump Rosé? Have you tried that?
We have.
Yeah.
I like it. It's very sweet.
Very sweet for me.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't care for that. I like the sangria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to be rude.
No, it's just an
If you
opinion.
were going to make an alcoholic beverage,
It would be
Erika
really
Jayne,
strong. I don't make champagne wines or anything like that. It would be like fucking moonshine. Because I feel like there's only one way to do it.
You
That's
should do it.
hard. Nah, I mean, I think the spirits game is a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a really tough one. I mean, if I partnered with someone huge, let's call that in. Seagrams.
Hey guys,
Put it out
hey,
there.
Seagrams, it's
Hennessy,
Erika.
someone, yeah. Hi.
Erika, I'm curious how you got on the show. What was your journey to getting there?
It's the same thing that I've said many times through Yolanda. Sitting on David and Yolanda's couch in Malibu. She being sick as a dog in her very famous bathrobe, no makeup on. Tom and I had gone out to visit with them. We were chatting, Yolanda and I were talking, and she just started looking at me and said, you ever thought about being on Housewives? And I said, no, absolutely not. And she literally picked up her phone and started texting. And she said, I think you'd be great.
Wow.
And it kind of like, all was that set the whole thing in motion.
And were you nervous? And had you been a fan of the show?
No, I had not seen the show. But like I've said, it's impossible not to know who the women are. So I knew the names, but I'd never watched the show. So I was very neutral about the whole thing. I just didn't expect much to come of it. So
much has come of it.
no, an incredible wave, an ocean has come of it. But I certainly had no expectations sitting there.
Well, you sort of, I think through the show, people have related to you and you've sort of, I'll just say, become iconic. And I think you feel that. Did you know that, were you like that in your life and in your performing life before the Housewives?
What are you referencing specifically?
Like, I just mean, like, you've become this figure that people are like, Erika Jayne. And I knew you had a career, obviously, as a singer beforehand, but has it expanded so much?
Oh my God, it's not even the same, planet. I'm, Erika Jayne was known in the clubs and that's great. But once you're on a television show, then the entire fan base has changed. Women my age, young girls. I mean, it's all over and it's worldwide. I mean, I'd always sold records around the world, but now being on television is a very powerful medium and it's a total game changer. And it was for my career. So thank you, Yolanda. I do say that in the book.
and it was really quick from that conversation on our couch to when you were cast. It was like a
Less
matter
than
of
10
weeks.
days.
Yeah.
What, 10 days?
Well, was it like 10 days or 2 weeks, Laya? It was something like that. I mean, it was very fast.
And you audition and you kind of, how do you audition?
You go and you sit down with the producers and they put you on tape and they ask you questions.
I'm sure they were immediately just like, we've got it.
I don't know. I couldn't judge their reaction.
Yeah.
I just went in there and answered the questions and left.
And how did your husband feel initially about you doing the
My
show?
husband didn't know what the fuck Housewives was. Basically, still doesn't know, and absolutely does not give a shit. So,
Does he watch?
yeah, he tends to watch New York.
Wow, I love that he doesn't even watch your series.
No, he doesn't watch our series. I mean, Tom is really supportive. Obviously, I wouldn't be here without Tom. But he's not one of those. Tom is a real lawyer with a real career and wants to remain that way. So he's just supportive.
What does Tom watch on TV?
A lot of CNN, golf, and he likes Lifetime movies and Snapped. He loves Snapped.
Casey, this is
That's
a man
fascinating.
Man
Loves
after my
Lifetime
own
movies.
heart.
I'll catch him crying at a Lifetime movie, and he loves Snapped.
I love
which is
Snapped, too.
women who have had enough of their man and usually kill him, right?
Right?
Murder.
Yes. Well, always kill him.
Yes,
And when they go
always.
to jail, sometimes they are falsely accused.
What does that say about you that he loves Snapped?
No, I think it's the law part of it that
Got
he
it.
likes.
Oh,
He
I
enjoys
see.
watching the trial part, even though he's not in criminal. I think he enjoys like the law part of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like the murder part of it.
Yeah, well, a lot of women do, and I
Yeah.
could see why. If I was married to some of those fools, I'd have blown them out too.
Now you were saying before we started taping that to be a great house. Not you didn't say this. We sort of said to be a great housewife, you kind of have to know the game that you're playing and like why you're there and what you're doing. And you have hit this so straight on that, like
Thank
nail
you.
on the head.
Yeah, well, I do believe that. I think that you're given a unique opportunity that you can work in your favor, provided that you are aware of your surroundings. You can either be consumed by housewives or you can take housewives and make it something really special.
And are you friends with any of the gals? Like when you're not filming?
Yeah, I am. I'm friends with Eileen. I'm friends with Lisa Rinna. I text with Kyle. I mean, it's not like we are, stone cold enemies off camera. I mean, you obviously are closer to some than others. But I texted with Dorit the other day. I mean, you just check in on each other.
Did you enjoy car racing with Dorit?
I didn't have a bad experience with Dorit this year at all.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's very
it
neutral.
seemed-
I feel her looks this year were kind of inspired by you to step
sure.
it up.
Thank you. I mean, I think
And
that-
you stepped up what I didn't think could be stepped up.
Well, and I think everyone has stepped up because of Erika.
yeah.
Like they've seen you traveling with your hair and makeup, and I think that you've raised the level across the franchise of what people
And coming
expect.
in with a theme, it feels like you know who you're going for.
Well, I had all of that in place before the TV show, and glam was never supposed to be a part of my thing on the show. It simply became that way in Dubai. And I always thought that, if you're going to be on TV and you're given such a special medium, that you should show up looking like you belong.
Yes.
And so that's what I've always done. And it is nice to see everyone kind of pull up a little bit because it does say the word Beverly Hills. I mean, the girls in Atlanta are always decked out.
Oh,
Do you see what I'm
100%.
saying?
Yes.
So if you fucking live in Atlanta, and I love those girls, and that's my hometown, and if those girls look great, we can look great too. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no reason why one franchise should get to slacken.
We feel the same.
Yeah, you need to pull everyone
And
up.
we have said that many times of get it together.
I think so. I think if you're going
You
to
are
put
on
your
television.
That's my
People
point.
can see you.
That's my point. If those girls can show up every day, full hair and makeup, and it's hot in Atlanta, and I know how fucking hot it is, and they look gorgeous, we can pull our glam together here in Beverly Hills. That is not,
Do you watch the other franchises?
I watch Atlanta because it's my hometown, but sparingly. I don't get a chance to watch it all at one time.
Yeah. I feel like you're the new Marlo or Faye Resnick, Brian.
I know. Well, now that I'm super famous on Real Housewives.
Are you?
Yeah.
Do people come up to you? Let me ask you a question. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
please.
How have you been perceived since you came on? I imagine, let me just interject. I imagine that half of your fans have been like, cool, and the other half have been like, you sucker, you sold out.
No one has. Most people are really excited,
Good,
like of my
okay.
fans, because most of the people that follow me and whatever are like fans of me anyway. Like I don't think I get as many haters. But the 2 times I've been on, people have been like, "Oh, I hated your tote bag. I hated your shoes. I
Yes,
love this. I love
yes,
that."
yes.
And it's
But
like,
now you get a taste of what we get.
oh my God, I know. And I'm
Nah,
like,
I'm
and
glad.
if these are people that like me, I can only imagine like what they're saying to Erika and the rest of them all the time.
And that's part of the game
Yeah.
too. I mean, you have to be willing to take those.
But I will say, last night when I was on the show, I started getting like a lot of text messages and like Facebook messages from people seeing me on the show. And even like some of my old Grinder tricks were like, girl, on Grinder, like, girl, I saw you on Housewives.
But there was a positive.
Yeah, but it was just like crazy that
The
like,
fact that you just said grinder tricks, I just live that for that. Because I don't know if anybody really knows what that means but me. I think that's amazing.
our editor didn't know what a circuit party was.
We had to explain.
We had to explain.
Ryan and I had to explain what a circuit party was, and we were both I was a little disappointed that he didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like, who did they stick us
who did
with
they- yeah.
that we
We
had
had
to
to
explain
explain.
to you?
Who's editing this book?
I
Well,
know. A nice straight gentleman named Jeremy.
And he's great, but we
He's
did have
great.
to explain to him what a circuit party was.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question because we're talking about your look and we love your glam squad. Like, it's fun to watch them and you together and like Mikey and the look he's going for, which
Sure.
I'm obsessed with. He's always like, this is like, this is little girl. What did he say about your outfit
Well, he
last
said
night?
baby
Like,
doll gooch,
baby
and then
doll
I said no, baby doll hooker.
Yes, which I was like I love that, like, again, like we know you have a look in your mind and you're going for it.
Well, it's very theatrical.
Yes.
And I treat it that way.
But it also, like, it feels almost like there are these 2 parts of your life, which I think you've said a lot. Like, there's the Erika Jayne side of you, and then there's the Erika Girardi. And do those worlds mesh?
Oh, of course they do, because you have to understand, I still show up to lawyer events or, looking like basically Erika Jayne. Maybe, obviously where we're going, I'm not going to show up to some conservative place looking absolutely insane, just a little. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's kind of a big mesh. And you have to remember that, Mikey and I have been together for many years. My glam squad and I, whether I've known them all for a very long time.
How did you and Mikey get working together?
We met through a person that was doing some road managing for me at the time. His name is Gary, and he said to me, hey, you know what? You really need to check out this guy, Mikey Minden. Mikey was 24. And we met for the first time and have never really been apart since then.
I mean, I've never seen a choreographer he's wearing a lot of hats.
Literally and figuratively.
But you know what the thing is that I think he started out as a choreographer, and his input through so many other projects other than Erika Jayne were far bigger than choreography. You start to take over and you start to create shows and aesthetics, and then it becomes something bigger.
I love seeing him on the show.
I do too. He's incredible. He's incredible.
Does he like being on it?
Of course. I mean, he enjoys, being with me and us getting to do what we love.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you.
May I ask, where do you stand with PK? Just to change topics a bit.
We've been friendly and cordial, so I think we're in a good place.
It does feel like between this season and last season that the cast seems to be sort of obsessed with your vagina. Like, it feels like
Yeah, it
it's
feels a little that way.
A conversation, like, constantly. And I'm curious why that seems
What your vagina's
wearing.
wearing.
What's your vagina got that everyone seems to be talking about?
She's a legend.
Honestly,
She is a
Honestly.
pure platinum legend.
I believe
I
that.
don't doubt
She's
it.
a fucking legend.
I believe it in every sense of the word. It's giving off vibes right now.
She's giving off platinum vibes.
I'm feeling it right now.
Yes.
Just a comment on, I just would love to know just from someone kind of on the inside, what is Dorit's real hair looking like?
I think Dorit's hair is somewhat of a bob. Yeah. It's like a longer bob. Mm-hmm.
What was up with the short bob? I was so confused because her hair
As was
seemed
I.
to like get shorter and then longer again.
I'm not quite sure, but it's a lot of looks. And yeah, but I think she rocks a kind of a longer bob.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did like that sparkle
The Gucci top?
Yeah.
Here's a question.
I did too.
We all did. We talked about it for a while. We did talk about it for a while. How did you come up with Erika Jayne? You know, it is sort of your alter ego and a part of you, but how did it sort of like become this thing that you started to do?
Well, in 2007, I started to create. I had a unique opportunity. I reconnected with a friend of mine from high school, and we talk about it in the book, named Travis Payne. And I received an invitation to a show that he had choreographed. And it was just this odd invitation. And I picked up the phone and I called him. And I said, "What are you doing?" And with this show. And he was like, "Oh, it was kind of interesting." He said, "But what are you doing?" And, at this time I was just wealthy and married.
I want to do that.
But what I mean by that is a state of complacency, not like I'm so fabulously rich. What I'm trying to say is that, you can get lulled into a place that is wonderful. And I had a wonderful life, and I have a wonderful life. It's even better now. But I wasn't taking any risks. I wasn't expanding my horizons. I wasn't honoring my creative, desires or any of that. And Travis helped me do that. And we got together and we hooked up with a producer named Peter Rafelson. And that is really how Erika Jayne was born. Born out of, there's only, and I really mean this, and some will agree and some will not. There's only so many things you can buy. There are only so many lunches you can go to. There are only so many beautiful trips. And I am so grateful for all of that. But at the end of the day, what am I really doing? My husband has an incredible career and he's changing lives and laws and whatever. But what am I doing? And who am I? And what am I doing? And then, my child was getting older and I needed more out of myself. I needed more out of my own spirit.
And I think that's why people respond to you, because you seem to be using the platform to give yourself more of a joyful, almost more like spiritual experience in a way, rather than just using the show to sell whatever product you can get yourself into, a toaster oven or whatever. But it's so wonderful to see you have this passion and that has kind of grown for you, something that you came in with.
Well, yes. I grew up in theater, musical theater, and went to performing arts high school and then, auditioned and worked and didn't and all of that kind of stuff that you can relate to. And then I was, like I said, I was living this life where I wasn't honoring that at all. I wasn't being that person. And that really needed to come back through. And I'm glad that I was able to do that. And now I'm able to show that on the show. And I get a lot of direct messages that say, thank you for inspiring me to go back to school or go to dance class or to go back to writing, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's an important thing for women to see is that, there's going to come a time when the kids are raised and your husband's busy doing his thing or not, or you're divorced or whatever. And then you're going to have to look inward and be like, okay, so what am I doing? Yes, I have all this shit. Now what?
I think there's a great through line. Sense? Yeah, in the book where we talk about, even from a very young age, your love of creating art and performing,
sure,
and how that's always been the goal, and that sometimes it's been hard for you to accomplish that goal. And when that was the case, you found your own way to make it happen, and really gone a different path than a lot of people would have taken.
Yeah, and I think that that's a part of the journey that people find interesting is that it was, I had to make it my own. Like he said, I wasn't, the doors did not open. No one rolled out the red carpet and was excited for my arrival. So it's the truth.
I am curious about that too, your arrival in terms of were you workshopping Erika Jayne in a cold bar with 3, gay men dancing around? Where did it start?
Yes.
Where did it start?
It started here in Los Angeles, and one of the first, we talk about in the book, one of the first performances I gave was in San Francisco at a swingers party.
Really?
Right? It's hilarious. And you have to read because I'm not going to give it away. But yes, I've had shows for no people, one person, 2 lonely drunks at the front. Yeah! People cussing you out. Who do you think you are? So it's run the whole gamut. And but that, I believe, is, first off, if you love it, you don't care. And number 2, that is part of all of that is preparation for where I am today. That's why I don't take it, yes, I take my art seriously, but I don't take what happens to it that seriously. Do you know what I'm saying? The way it's interpreted, you know?
I'd love to hear a little bit more about the book from you two, and just can we expect from the book that maybe we don't see on Housewives?
Well, I think you get to know me a little bit more as a person, perhaps my journey in a little more, personal way. It's hard to, when you are an ensemble cast, to really reveal yourself in 40 minutes.
But are we an ensemble? I think you're a little bit of a shining star.
Well, until honey, it just says Erika, I'm in a fucking she ain't out the chorus. Okay, I still am not out the motherfucking chorus. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. What did you think about it?
I think that we tell a lot of stories about like Erika growing up, Erika's family, which is a lot crazier than one would expect from how you see her now.
Yes.
I think that we tell a lot of stories about the early days of Erika Jayne and how she started it, and some of those really shitty concerts.
Sure.
And then some of the great concerts that you've gotten to. And I think that we talk a lot about your relationship with your husband and your son, and a lot about your philosophy of, why you do what you do, what's important to you, kind of like your outlook on life that I find very interesting and refreshing. And it's very honest, I think, about, who you are and where you came from and, what you think is really important.
Cool. There it is.
You sold me. I'm interested.
I mean, it's simply the tale of a little girl that was born in Atlanta that had big dreams and, and the road to get there. And it's not a straight path. So, there's a lot of reinvention. There's a lot of, making rights and making lefts. And so you'll find your way.
I just want to, and we will wrap up. I want to compliment you.
Why, it's over?
Oh, no.
We just
don't want to take up your time.
Okay.
We have a lot more questions.
I know.
Yes.
Keep going.
I was having fun for once. I was having fun.
Okay, you give me a wave.
Yeah, you'll tell us.
Overstay.
Or
We can
again,
overstay.
just walk out of the room and we'll know.
The other guy.
Yeah.
Just throw your mic down. You have taught me something as an actress. I'm doing a pilot right now, and you employ stillness in a way that is so powerful that I have been, told by every director, please take it down. And so,
Marlene Dietrich.
Wow.
That's all you need to do.
Really?
Go watch her.
Like when you did that first audition for the soap opera, I was like, oh, that's acting. You know what I mean? Like you just said the words. You know what I mean? And
you also conserve your speech, which I'm seeing right now, how you're doing it beautifully. Whereas I will take room to hang myself.
You can't.
Wow.
You have to have an economy of words. Less said is best said, as someone once told me. You need to deliver your message. I really learned this from my husband. You deliver the words and that's it. Oof. And there's the more you talk, the more room you leave open to fuck yourself. And it just doesn't work. This whole, it's like, bitch, no. And all of it looks thirsty. It looks overproduced. It looks like, there is a power in stillness and in silence and in conservation. But I don't always do it. I mean, Erika Jayne is not that way, but I am that way in life. But that's a lot of Tom, Wow.
I think that's what people often interpret as coldness.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly because
They're-
they expect this fucking Labrador retriever to meet them at the door.
Make them comfortable.
And pant and like, aren't you excited? And I'm dressed in pink and look at me. And instead it's like, no, you're meeting me on a very personal level.
I don't like your outfit.
Well, I don't even get that far. Because I don't even look at people like that. I don't look at people, I feel people. I feel them before I look at them. I can often tell you how someone feels before I can tell you what they look like and their energy. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how I am. But yes, there's something to be said for just being, taking it in. You don't have to always perform.
It's sort of a feminist manifesto. I think we as women, I know I do this, is like sort of like make everybody comfortable, make everybody okay. And the fact that you're comfortable saying, no, I'm just going to feel this moment, be in this moment. I don't need to take care of you.
Well, it's not even like that adversarial as more as it is just, I'm going to be here and you're going to be there and we're going to meet in the middle. And, I appreciate you for you. Mm-hmm. I really do. I love meeting people. I'm actually really sensitive and very warm, although a lot of people think I'm like cold-hearted. I don't get it. But, it's, I'm content to let everyone be who they are. And if you needed to leave in the middle of the night and go to the fucking DoubleTree, then honey, you know what? Come on back.
That was shocking.
It was a little
so
weird.
Strange.
I'm content to let people be exactly who they are. I will never try to change anyone. I just, I may give you a piece of advice like, hey, this doesn't serve you the best maybe right now. But, I tend to take everyone at face value. I mean, just you are who you are. I don't,
I have found that characterization of you not being warm is insane. And I actually think it's out of reality and kind of coming from anger or jealousy towards you.
I don't know.
Unconscious.
I don't know if that's the case, but I know that people who spend 5 minutes with me do not walk out feeling that way at all. Because, I think that's also a mantra that's said over and over to cast this sort of icy, almost character over me that is so far from the truth.
Yeah.
It's very far from the truth.
Speaking of characters, is there another, you talked about, reinvention. Mm-hmm. You had Erika Jayne inside you. Is there another character?
I do have another character, but she's not ready to come out yet.
I'm breathless.
No, well, she's just an idea. It's just an idea. It's just more of the shadow, like it's just more, of your inner person.
Wow. And what is next for you? Do you have other aspirations? What are you feeling?
I mean, so we have the book, that Brian and I wrote together. I'm excited about that. And I think I'm really nervous.
I am too.
I know.
I think it's going to be great, though.
I hope so. I really do. I hope people really like it. I'm in the studio making music. And then, there are a couple great projects that are really coming my way that, can't quite talk about, but they're really good and they're very solid. I'm excited.
Are there going to be more Erika Jayne shows?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
but I have to have more music in order to support
People
that.
need it.
Fair.
Thank you. I would love to really mount a tour. I don't know when because we're going to, start, but I need to mount a tour and I need to go support both the book and the music.
I think you need a TED Talk. Just throwing that.
When you were performing at 4 a.m. in Mykonos, I was like, how is she getting up?
Oh, come on. Let me ask you this. Do you love what you do?
I love what I do.
Then you would not be tired.
I guess so, but I'm always I got to get there. It's at 9.
Danielle is always tired.
Are you always?
I'm it's at 9.
No, but you know what? Think about this. I mean, who?
Danielle wants to be in bed right now.
Yeah, sure. Always.
Well, I want to be in bed too. I think it's great to sleep. But here's the thing. It's hard not to be inspired by opportunities like that. I get very inspired I always say yes. It's like, would you like to do this podcast with me? Yes, of course. Would you like to do that? Yes, of course. And I think the more you say that, the more the universe opens up to you and all these beautiful things come. And, I was really just tickled to be able to do Mykonos.
Yeah, it was so fun to watch. And also you and Kyle's relationship in Mykonos really blossomed.
I
in a
loved that
way.
dinner. When Tom called, if I may call him Tom, it was
Yeah, you may call him Tom, the moon or something. Yes.
I love your
sweet.
relationship with Tom too. That is a fun side of the show that I enjoy watching.
I'd like to see more of you guys.
Me
Yeah,
too.
that's up to Tom. That's really
Right,
up
Tom's
to Tom.
like, no thanks.
Yeah, Tom's cool. But
Did you meet Tom, Brian?
I did not meet Tom.
you haven't met Tom.
No, I talked to Mikey for the book.
Yes, we
which
talked
was
to my
wonderful.
mother.
And I talked to your mom. And but we talked a lot about Tom. And I think that, a lot when people found out I was working with Erika, their question a lot of times was about her relationship with Tom and what that's like and so on and so forth. And so, when writing the book, we talk about her relationship. And I said to Erika a bunch of times, I want the people reading the book to fall in love with Tom like you did. And showing everybody what it is about Tom that Erika's really into.
And I appreciate that very much.
And I think we really got that across.
Yes, I think we did too. And I
Yeah.
think we got some cute stories in there that people will
Absolutely.
find funny.
Yeah. And we also talk, I think, because you're so honest about the things that annoy you about each other, which every
my
couple
God,
has.
Yeah.
And
Well, of course. I mean, no one's, it's not rainbows and ponies all the time.
yeah.
I think that is what people like about you, because I think you have an ability, because you get it, you can name what people might think is weird. And I'm not saying this is weird. I'm talking about everything with you. You're always like, oh, this might be a little, or in the time you pointed out, you said like, I can see what people might think about Tom and I. And that's what's so beautiful about you, because then it's like, people don't think it at all.
Yeah, but
you're a step ahead.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I think there's something great about being self-aware. You know,
I guess it's just
that is a quality you do not find in most housewives.
I've never seen it before in a housewife.
No, it was first.
Kyle.
Yes.
I think that there's a lot of them that are more aware of the game than they are aware of themselves, if that makes sense.
But they're hungry
like
for
who?
the game. Hungry for the game.
Like a Leanne Locken, like Leanne, or a Kenya Moore. Like Kenya Moore knows how. Like she's a
Kenya Moore is a pro.
She's an
She's
excellent
a fucking
housewife,
pro.
but I don't think she always like understands herself and her own motivations. But she understands how to be a great character on television.
I think Kenya's a friend of mine, and I like her very much. And I feel like Kenya is very bright, and I feel like Kenya has been in entertainment for a very long time. She's very savvy, and I like her very much.
Yeah.
I like her very much as
She's
well.
beautiful
Yeah.
too. I can't take
She's a
my
beautiful
eyes
woman.
off.
Beautiful.
No, and
woman.
she is like such a like from the moment she got on that show,
yeah.
she's like, I know how to play the game. This is how it works, and and she's a master of it.
Yes, she is.
Can I ask who both of your favorite housewives are? If you had
Well,
to say.
I would be my favorite house.
Yes, yes.
And
She's
you
also
are
my favorite housewife.
Bitch, I was about to hit you with the mic.
Yes.
I was about to
Present
knock you
company
out.
excluded.
No, you know what? I do have. It's interesting you should say Leanne Locken, because I spent an afternoon with Leanne and Tiffany in Dallas.
We need every single detail of the story right now. Please, thank you.
First off, I like Leanne very much.
So do I.
Leanne has had a very hard time, growing up. And I really enjoyed my afternoon with she and Tiffany. I think they've been friends for a very long time before the show. I don't watch Dallas very much, but I would, put it on record that Leanne is the foundation of that.
Oh, of course. She's the heart and
absolutely.
soul.
She's
of
It
that.
doesn't
genius.
really work without Leanne.
We don't
Locken.
have a
It just
show
doesn't.
without her. We
No,
don't.
you might
It's
as
a
well
house of
just
cards.
hold it up. I mean, she really is the center diamond, in my opinion.
I could watch Leanne Locken grocery shop for an hour every week.
And you
be-
would like her if you met her, and you really would.
Does she want-
like
does she
her
wanna write a
coming off-
book?
Even on what I see of her, I like her.
You would like her.
Yeah, I have anger problems. I relate to her.
Well, everyone has anger problems. It's just a matter of how you express them.
Sorry.
But I will say, Erika is my favorite housewife to write as. But
Okay.
my favorite housewife to write about is Sonia Morgan.
Oh,
Sonia's
Tremont
great.
Morgan.
Sonia's great.
She's just so. It's
Yeah,
just there's
she's
so much
great.
there.
There's a lot there.
I'd like to throw one more thing in the pot. It came out today, unfortunately, in the Daily Mail that said, the New York housewives, a boat caught on fire and they were all vomiting because they had some type of illness. I'm like, what
Parasite?
is happening? A
Are they?
parasite?
I think. Are they away on their
They're
trip?
in Colombia.
They're in Cartagena.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and they also said in the Daily Mail today that they're going to sue.
Yes.
They're thinking about suing Bravo, which makes me very worried because if they sue Bravo, they won't show the boat trip.
No.
And we need that boat trip.
Well,
showed the
I would
dune
be
buggy.
very careful repeating anything about. Yeah,
Oh, I'm not saying the Daily Mail is anyway,
Let's wait and see how it all shakes out.
Okay.
Because I don't. Let's wait and see how it shakes out.
You're right.
Yes.
Erica, I would love to talk about the trips. It's
Yes.
a source of fascination for us
Yes.
and the fans. I love that they've started this segment of packing. So great.
Really?
We love that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Certain people packing.
Okay, because I'll be honest. Like Lyle will tell you, we are like, you guys want to come watch us put the
Yes.
shit in the trunk?
We also
I
like to
really
see
rather only see you. I don't need to see Lisa Rinna when she's like talking with the dog and there's no one in there with her.
I see. Yeah.
It's fantasy. We like to see you ordering for some reason.
Okay. Okay.
Us and the fans in general.
And saying hi to each other when you come to the table. There's just something about it. It's kind of become a trope that I think is fun. Anticipatory.
I like to talk about this all the time, that the official Housewives greeting is not hello, it's you look fabulous. You look
Yes.
amazing. It's like that, like
Instead
not
of
so
hello.
much you guys, but like on all the other shows,
Atlanta.
the first thing they do is compliment.
Atlanta, they make them spin. They're like, show me everything.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
those girls put in real
Yes.
work to
Yes.
look good, and I would do it too. Shit.
Yeah, but Andy Cohen talked in an interview about how he always leaves in the food that you order
Yes.
in the restaurants, and how that's like people really want to see that. And I always found that to be fascinating because I'm always like, I don't care that she gets a kale salad.
Well, I didn't like to eat on camera until you see Lisa Rinna do it maybe never, because you're always taught not to be eating on camera. But this is kind of a lifestyle situation, and I'm hungry.
Yeah, of course you guys are sitting
I
there
get
for
fucking
hours.
hungry after a while. I'm like, can I have a Coke and something to eat around here?
2 questions about the trips. If someone is in a fight when you're not filming, are you kind of okay? Or is it really
It's really uncomfortable. I mean, there are moments like in Hong Kong, for example, because I didn't fight this year too much.
Thank God.
Yeah. But like in Hong Kong, that didn't feel good, to have to show up the next day after the boat or, after me bursting into tears at the restaurant. There's all of that frustration and anger and, I feel stupid and, and you can sense it. There's a sense of heaviness in the group for sure. When people say, it's scripted. It's like I did Michael Rappaport's podcast, and it's like he looked at me, and this is an actor for 25 years. He looked at me and he said, Meryl Streep on her best day cannot do some of that shit. And I said, no. I mean, people expect this like, oh, you did that just because. No, babe. No.
Well,
we always say that people say there's no great parts for women. I beg to differ.
Yeah, right. It's true.
We've seen a lot of housewives act, and we all know that they're not good enough actresses to pull off the shit they're pulling off on the show.
Yeah, no, you can't. I mean, you can tell. And because it's not always your anger is not always the most, outrageous. Like, you can be angry and be very quiet about it. You can be embarrassed and just quietly put your head down. I mean, those are things that are not over the top.
Question, why do you think in last week's episode, Lisa did not defend Kyle? I thought that was a very interesting scene.
What happened?
With
So self-involved.
Was I in that scene?
Was I in that scene?
You
no,
were.
then I don't remember. Did I comment it on my blog? No.
You were dressed baby doll prostitute.
that just happened last night.
And the way you ushered Dorit into the van, very dramatic.
Well, I just felt like if she had left, then you would be further split. And, I don't like to see Kyle hurt like that. I don't like to see anybody hurt like that. And, it just was, in my opinion, a way to save some sort of a group. Let's not, we arrived together. Let's go home together. There's no need to run off.
I think Dorit is a controversial figure.
I think I'm loving her fashion. I haven't landed on what I think. Sometimes I like her and sometimes I think she's
got a mean streak.
Yeah, I think she's a little sweaty.
Well, I think it all boils down to what Erika said at the start of Pandygate, which is the more you talk about shit, the worse it gets. And Dorit can't stop talking about shit, and she keeps making it worse for herself. Whereas I think that a lot of the things we see her raising are things that everybody else was cool with, and then she wants to bring it up again. And when you relitigate it, it just becomes worse and worse every time.
It becomes harder and harder to defend.
Yeah, which is the same thing with Pandygate last year. It was just everybody was like, oh my God, you were over it, she was over it, the fans were over it, but she just kept digging.
Yes.
Was that her trying to have a storyline? Do people actively try to give themselves a storyline?
I mean, I can only speak for myself in the sense that if you're busy enough and you've got enough going on, and in my opinion, you don't need to dig for a storyline. When you put these women together, they're very independent thinkers. They all have opinions. You're bound to have a difference. It's just a matter of when it comes out.
What do you make of Teddy?
I think she's had some good days and some bad days. I think that, she'll probably come out okay. I don't know how she found the experience. It's one thing to make the show. It's another thing to watch the show. So it'll be interesting to see how she feels about her first season.
And do you fight, or not fight, but do you have resentments or hurt feelings? I'm sure you do after you watch everything through and see everyone's testimonials.
Absolutely. Brian and I say this in the book that I compare housewives to professional wrestling in the sense that you have a villain, you have, your sweethearts, you have, pyrotechnics, you have all this shit.
Costumes.
The costumes, production. But at the end of the day, the injuries are real. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Their physical injuries are real. Our mental injuries are real.
Are you in therapy?
What?
Do you go to therapy?
No, why?
Really? Because you seem so grounded.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Have you ever been to therapy?
I mean, I was court ordered when I was a kid once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But not as an adult, because you seem so. We're so shocked when someone is like okay with themselves.
You're normal?
We're like, wait,
Are you
so you just
spiritual?
I
accept
read a lot
yourself?
of books about psychology or, the way things work. I don't,
Are you spiritual?
Of course, I have a chapel in my home.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is
I don't
true.
go to church. I probably should start going to mass, but I just haven't. I found a really great priest, somebody that I found was really like inspirational. I would go.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody that's just like going through it.
Yeah.
That's like, know
Well-
how you get those boring ones like we've discussed
Yes.
that are just not into it.
Well, and Erika and I were both raised Catholic and have a similar experience where, like, I think we're both grateful for being raised with religion and learned a lot from it, but have a lot of problems with
Yes.
the institution for
It's-
various
it's-
and assorted reasons.
Yeah, for its yes.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, which, thinking back to Hong Kong and you have that blow up and you yell at everybody and then the cameras are off and you're back in your hotel room, like, how do you get back to normal? Like, what goes through your mind to get you to a place where you can be yourself again?
It's called I Have to Show Up for Work Tomorrow. Which I didn't want to be defeated.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be defeated. I didn't want to be in a place where I quit or I tucked tail and ran. I didn't want to be, I didn't want to lose, and I had lost at that dinner control, and I don't like that. And so I wasn't going to allow myself to repeat it. I wasn't going to run away from the conflict. I was going to confront it and try to move through it.
So when you have to go the next day, do you have call times?
Yes.
Okay. I knew it, but I just needed to hear
Who
it.
is number one on the call sheet? Is it alphabetical?
No, it's you don't get an actual sheet.
Oh, okay.
They just say be ready at 9:30.
There you go.
Yeah.
And are they long days?
Oof.
Those trips must be,
Murder.
yeah.
Murder.
Really?
Murder.
You know what I think is a little sweaty on the show is not so much with Beverly Hills, but it's been really getting tough.
On OC, it's
Yes.
real tough.
When someone just takes a segue that's not there and is like, should we go to China? And everyone,
Well, that's also, it can be said, why would I invite all these people with me on a long trip?
Mm-hmm.
Do I genuinely have a connection with these people? So, yeah, you need to cultivate those relationships so that it seems very natural.
well, I mean, I think we'll let you go and we'll
Cool,
wrap
thank
up.
you. I had a good time.
Can
Did
we
you
just
have any
tell you
questions
one
for
more
them?
thing?
Yes. Why do you? I do have a couple questions.
yes.
Why do you watch Housewives, and what do you get from it? Because I'm looking for another answer other than, I come home and I decompress from my day and I put it on, and it just kind of it rolls in the background. But it seems like you two obviously are interested in the psychology of Housewives and the way the show's made. You asked a lot of questions about, kind of behind the scenes and stuff like that. You've obviously done your homework. What is it that you like, and why? When oftentimes Housewives can be boring, or you see the same things over and over. What brings you back?
I think for me, on some level, it goes back to that there aren't a lot of good roles for women on television. I love dynamic women. I love women who are not likable always, who stand in their truth and aren't afraid to be kind of just say what's on their mind and be ugly and be emotional.
And be raw.
Yes. And I think we don't see that very often, especially as actresses. I know, they're always looking for, but is she likable? But is she pretty? Is she nice to her husband? You know what I mean? She can't be too bitchy. And so
That's interesting that you touched on that, because that's something that I had not really thought of, because you're right. Being able to show that kind of not so pleasant side or the dark side.
dynamic, really.
Yeah, and we're all that way. No one is perfect all the time. That's interesting.
But it's just people sort of living in their truth and being very vulnerable and being loud and proud with it.
And we always say there is something nice if I'm on an airplane, or obviously we have connected with this. There's a rabid fan base for the Housewives.
Very
And
rabid.
I
Yes.
think there's something it's almost like they're all our friends. So it's like, let's chat about our friends.
Yeah.
That there's this commonality when you don't know someone. It's like, woo, and you can immediately just get into it. And I think that's fun. Kind of brings...
It's our sports a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
It's
I
our
said that
sports.
too.
Yes.
I said men have sports and
Yeah.
women have housewives.
And we can talk about this. No one gets hurt. It's not politics where you stand in your opinion and someone's like, that's not how I feel. You can feel a way about a different housewife or a different fight.
But
and
it's
no one
also
can be mad at
absurd.
you.
Like, people are mad and they're in flapper outfits. It's hilarious.
It is definitely
And the
theater of the
editing.
absurd.
Yes.
And I'm willing to participate.
Well, and I said this when there was that whole fight between Teddy and Dorit about being late, and that I have these fights with my real friends. I don't want to have this fight with my TV friends. You know what I mean? Like,
You're looking for something a lot more fabulous and escapist,
Yeah.
or
Right.
whatever that word is.
Like, if you want to fight about, being late to $1 million dinner, then fine. But don't.
You know what? If you want to fight about being late to the private plane, like I kept my plane on the runway,
Love that.
waiting for
Exactly.
you.
Yes.
Into it.
Then I can really get it.
No.
But just, you fucked up and now I'm in Melrose.
Yeah, that
Right.
was.
I don't
No.
give a shit.
I have that actual fight with my real friends.
Right.
I don't
I'm
want to
late.
have
The
that fight with my
subway
TV
sucks.
friends.
I do want to.
Yeah.
I'm at Teterboro and we're at my plane. I'm losing my slot and you're fucking not here. That is fabulous in my life.
Yes, that is a fight I want to see.
Or let's go the total opposite and have a real bad fight somewhere really bad. But don't give me mediocre.
No.
I think that was the kiss of death for Teddy. Sorry. Erika, we just wanted to give you, to end, 3 taglines you might want to think about for next season.
Okay, Leia,
New
mommy.
ones, just in case. Not that yours aren't always perfect, but
Well, we did.
Wait, who's the co-author of who wrote my tagline this year?
It might have been Brian Moore.
Hot tip.
Ryan, why didn't you say?
Because we're not allowed.
This is amazing.
So when we were working on the book, Erika was trying to decide on her tagline, and we talked about some ideas, and I sent her a handful as a
Yes.
joke that my boyfriend and I were coming up with.
I so
ridiculous
loved it.
taglines. And my favorite one was, "Yes, I'm wearing panties, bitch."
It didn't make it.
It did not make the cut.
Yes, but yes.
yeah.
Brian wrote my tagline. It is true.
Fabulous.
But you know
Sure.
what? We collaborated for a long time, and I felt like, I was like, "We're good. We're doing taglines. Do you have any good ideas?" And he was like, "Hold on." And I secretly feel like you're behind it. You know what I mean? Like it's you.
Every time I hear it, I smile
You have
on
to.
the inside. I'm
you
like,
have to because
mine.
that's you.
Well, here's just some, obviously, I'm sure you guys will come up with something better next year, but you want to start?
Some are crazier, some are smaller.
Just
but
try them on for
Okay,
size.
go.
Yeah, here we go. Don't fuck with me or my period monster will wash you away.
That is visually awful.
No, is that a no? That's a no. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
I might be from Pasadena, but you won't pass on my vagina. Wearing underwear this time, bitch.
yeah,
Said many.
yeah.
And then here's another. People like to say I'm cold, but I'm just that way to people I don't like.
Well, that would be true.
Right?
That would be really true.
Okay, so we have a winner. I don't know, just throwing it out.
Just throwing
at
it
you.
out.
Yes.
Erika Jayne, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. I really had a nice time.
So did we.
I.
I hope that, many a housewife beats down your door now and
Wow.
will come on the show.
And thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure.
Erika Jayne's unbelievable new book, Pretty Mess, comes out on March 20th, available for pre-order currently on Amazon. It is currently actually a #1 new release. This book is co-authored by National Treasure and Vulture's own Brian Moylan. Thank you all so much for listening, and we have so much gratitude to Erika Jayne for being our first housewife interview. We're so grateful. That was so much fun. Buy her book or listen to her book on audio. It is truly fantastic. And that is a genuine statement. Erika Jayne's book, Pretty Mess, March 20th, co-authored with Brian Moylan. Take care.
Hey everyone, Scott Aukerman here. Are you a fan of the podcast You Talkin' You2 to Me? Well, I hope you are. If you are, make sure to check out Adam Scott and I have a new show, Are You Talkin' REM Re-Me? That's right, it's a brand new show with a brand new title. Join us as we discuss the music and impact of the band REM through an album-by-album analysis. That sounds very nerdy, but it's actually fun. We break down everything and nothing about the band. Listen to the limited series Are You Talkin' REM Re-Me? Wednesdays on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and earwolf.com. This is good rock and roll music!
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Aukerman, Chris Bannon, and Colin Anderson. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.